You can't pour from an empty cup. That's one of those lines people hear and nod their head to, but don't really live by. You see, a lot of folks spend their whole life trying to make sure everybody around them is good. The family, the friends, the coworkers, the church folks. But meanwhile, they're running on fumes. They keep giving, keep helping, keep fixing, and then wonder why they feel drained, unappreciated, and stuck. You can't keep giving what you don't have. You can't keep pouring into others when your own cup is bone dry. If your spirit is tired, your mind is scattered, and your heart is heavy, how do you expect to show up strong for anyone else? You can't be the light if you're always burning yourself out for other people's comfort. That's why sometimes you got to take a step back and say, hold up, I need to refill my cup. And let me tell you something, refilling your cup doesn't make you selfish. It makes you smart. It means you've learned that self-care is not a luxury, it's a necessity. When you start focusing on yourself, everything begins to shift. You start realizing that saying no doesn't make you rude. It makes you responsible. You stop apologizing for taking time to rest, for turning off your phone, for wanting peace instead of chaos. You stop feeling guilty for putting yourself first because you finally understand that if you fall apart, everything you were trying to hold together will fall apart too. You ever seen someone running on empty? They're snappy, short-tempered, tired all the time, losing motivation, and can't seem to find joy in the little things anymore. That's what happens when you keep giving without recharging. You start living life out of obligation instead of purpose. You wake up, drag yourself through the day, and go to bed unfulfilled. That's not living. That's surviving. So take a moment to breathe. Take a moment to reset. If you need to step away, step away. If you need to take a day to rest your mind and feed your soul, do it. The world won't stop spinning because you took a break. You deserve to be whole. You deserve to feel peace. You deserve to operate from a place of fullness. Because when your cup is full, when you're healthy, grounded, and at peace, you don't just give more, you give better. You show up with more energy, more clarity, and more love. You start to attract the right people, the right opportunities, and the right kind of peace into your life. That's what happens when you stop trying to be everything for everybody and start being something for yourself. So remember this, you can't pour from an empty cup. Stop draining yourself for people who wouldn't even fill yours back up. Protect your peace, value your energy, and make time to fill your own cup, because that's where real growth, joy, and purpose begin. Your growth is your responsibility. Nobody's coming to hand you a better life wrapped up with a bow. Nobody's going to knock on your door and say, hey, I noticed you've been struggling. Here's success, peace, and happiness. That's not how this thing works. If you want to get better, you got to decide to get better. If you want change, you got to create it. You can pray all day, you can dream all night, but at some point, you got to move your feet. God can open the door, but He's not going to walk you through it. That's on you. Too many people sit around waiting for the perfect time, the perfect opportunity, or the perfect motivation to show up. Let me tell you right now, there's no perfect time. There's just time and what you choose to do with it. Growth doesn't happen by accident. It happens because you make a choice every day to do something that stretches you, challenges you, and pushes you out of your comfort zone. And let me tell you, comfort is a dangerous place. Comfort makes you lazy. Comfort makes you settle. Comfort convinces you that average is good enough when greatness is calling your name. When you take responsibility for your growth, you stop blaming the world. You stop pointing fingers at your parents, your boss, your past, or your circumstances. You realize that those things may have shaped you, but they don't define you. You can't change where you came from, but you can change where you're going. Growth starts the moment you say, I'm done making excuses. And here's the truth, growth isn't always pretty. It's not just about success quotes and vision boards. It's about failing, learning, adjusting, and trying again. It's about those lonely nights when nobody believes in you but you. It's about waking up early, doing the work, and trusting that it's worth it even when you can't see the results yet. Growth is built in the grind, not the spotlight. You got to want it bad enough to outwork your excuses. You got to want it bad enough to sacrifice a little comfort today for a better tomorrow. Because every bit of effort you put in compounds, every book you read, every skill you practice, every mistake you learn from, it all adds up. And one day you look back and realize you're not who you used to be. You've grown. You've evolved. You've taken charge of your life. See, nobody can live your dreams for you. Nobody can grow for you. People can guide you, inspire you, even help you. But they can't do it for you. That's on you. Your mindset, your habits, your consistency, those are your tools. And when you finally take full responsibility for your growth, you unlock a kind of freedom most people never experience. Because that's when you stop waiting for life to change and start changing your life yourself. Comparison is a thief of peace. Nothing will steal your joy faster than looking at what somebody else has and wondering why you don't have it. You could be having a good day, feeling proud of yourself, and then suddenly you see someone on social media living what looks like a perfect life. New car, new house, fancy vacations. And now you're questioning everything about yours. That's how comparison works. It sneaks in and convinces you that your blessings aren't enough, that you're behind, that you're not doing enough. But let me tell you something, you're not behind. You're right on time for your journey. The problem is, we've been trained to measure our worth by other people's success. We scroll through highlight reels and forget that's not real life. Nobody's posting their struggles, their fears, their sleepless nights, or their failures. You're comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's best moments. That's like comparing your day 1 to somebody else's year 10. It's unfair and it's unnecessary. When you start comparing yourself to others, you lose focus on your own lane. You stop seeing how far you've come because you're too busy looking sideways. And the moment you take your eyes off your path, you start tripping over your own progress. You were doing fine until you let distraction and envy creep in. You were growing until you started measuring your growth against somebody else's timeline. Here's the truth. Everybody's got their own path, their own pace, their own season. What's meant for you will never miss you. And what's not meant for you will never fit right no matter how much you chase it. The best thing you can do for yourself is stay focused on your own journey. Water your own grass and it'll start to grow. Don't worry about who's blooming faster. Just make sure you're blooming at all. And don't forget, success comes with its own struggles. You might envy someone's position, but you don't know their process. You might see the glory, but you don't know their story. Everybody you admire had to go through something to get there. They've got scars you can't see, sacrifices you don't know about, and challenges you might not even be willing to face. So instead of comparing, be inspired. Let their success remind you what's possible, not make you doubt what's possible for you. Peace comes when you focus on your own growth, when you wake up and measure progress by who you were yesterday instead of who someone else is today, when you stop trying to keep up and start trying to improve yourself. Life gets lighter, simpler, and more joyful when you stop competing and start appreciating. Because the moment you stop comparing, you start living freely, confidently, and peacefully, exactly the way you were meant to. Discipline builds confidence. A lot of people think confidence comes from success, from winning, from having everything figured out, but that's not true. Real confidence comes from keeping promises to yourself. It's built in the quiet moments when nobody's watching, when you choose to show up anyway, when you do what you said you would do even though you don't feel like it. Discipline is the foundation of self-respect, and self-respect is where confidence begins. You see, when you keep quitting on yourself, you start losing trust in yourself. Every time you say, I'll start tomorrow, and don't, a little piece of belief fades away. You start doubting your own word. That's why so many people struggle to feel confident, because deep down, they know they haven't been consistent with their own commitments. But when you start practicing discipline, even in small things, something powerful happens. You start to trust yourself again. You start to believe that if you say you'll do something, you'll get it done. and that belief turns into confidence. Discipline doesn't always feel good. It's not exciting. It's not glamorous. It's doing the work when nobody's clapping. It's waking up early when you'd rather sleep in, saying no to distractions when it'd be easier to give in, and sticking to the plan when your emotions tell you otherwise. That's the grind that shapes character, because every time you push through resistance, you're training your mind to be stronger than your feelings. And that's what separates the people who wish from the people who win. Confidence doesn't come from pretending to be great. It comes from doing the things that make you great. Every workout, every study session, every hour spent building something when nobody else sees the vision. That's where it's born. You can't fake confidence built on discipline. It's quiet, it's steady, and it's unshakable because it's rooted in effort, not ego. Think about it, the reason people with discipline walk differently, talk differently, and move with a certain calmness is because they know what they've been through. They know they earned it. You can't buy that kind of confidence. You can only build it. You earn it every single day by showing up, no matter how you feel. And discipline doesn't just build confidence. It builds freedom. Because when you're disciplined, you're no longer a slave to your emotions, your excuses, or your circumstances. You control your day instead of your day controlling you. That kind of power changes how you see yourself. So if you want to walk with real confidence, don't chase shortcuts. Don't fake it till you make it. Work it till you make it. Do the hard things consistently. Keep the promises you make to yourself. Because the day you realize you can rely on you, that's the day your confidence stops being a feeling and starts being your lifestyle. Silence the noise. In a world where everyone's talking, posting, and pretending to have it all figured out, learning to be quiet is one of the most powerful things you can do. Everybody's got an opinion about your life, what you should do, how you should act, who you should be. And if you're not careful, you'll spend your whole life chasing approval from people who don't even understand your purpose. Sometimes you've got to turn down the volume of the world to hear the whisper of your own soul. There comes a point when you realize not every voice deserves your attention. Not every argument needs your response. Not every opinion deserves a seat at your table. People will always have something to say about your choices, your timing, your dreams. But the truth is, they don't have to understand what God put inside of you. They weren't given your vision. They weren't meant to walk your path. That's why it's dangerous to live your life by outside noise. It'll make you doubt what you know is right. It'll make you question your own potential. When you silence the noise, you create space for peace. You give your mind room to breathe and your spirit room to grow. You stop reacting to everything and start responding with intention. You begin to understand that silence doesn't mean weakness. It means strength under control. Because sometimes the loudest move you can make is not to say a word. Just keep working, keep building, keep moving in silence. Let your results make the announcement. See, people who truly know where they're going don't need to prove it to anybody. They don't need to broadcast every step, every plan, every win. They stay low, stay focused, and let their consistency do the talking. You'll notice that the most confident people don't speak the loudest, they just deliver. Because they've learned that peace is more valuable than attention. The noise of the world will try to pull you in every direction. Social media, gossip, negativity, comparison, it's constant. But you get to choose what you tune into. You can feed your spirit with chaos, or you can protect it with silence. You can argue with critics, or you can outwork them quietly. You can chase validation, or you can focus on elevation. The choice is always yours. So take a step back from the noise. Turn off the distractions. Spend time with yourself. Listen to your heart, because clarity doesn't come from chaos. It comes from calm. You don't need to explain your every move or defend your every dream. Let your silence be your confidence, and your success be your response. The world may be loud, but your peace is priceless. And protecting it is one of the smartest things you'll ever do. Invest in the best version of you. Because at the end of the day, you are your greatest asset. People spend so much time investing in things clothes, cars, gadgets, validation. But forget the most important investment they'll ever make is in themselves. You can lose a job, you can lose money, you can lose opportunities. But when you've built you, when you've developed your mindset, your discipline, your skills, and your character, nobody can take that away from you. That's real wealth. That's real power. Too many people are out here giving their energy to everything and everyone except their own growth. They'll spend hours scrolling through social media, talking about what others are doing, and then complain about why their own life isn't moving forward. The truth is, you can't elevate until you start pouring into yourself. Read the books, take the classes, learn the skill, get around people who challenge you to grow, not people who keep you comfortable in your excuses. Because every minute you spend improving yourself is a seed you plant for your future. Investing in yourself isn't always glamorous. Sometimes it means being alone for a while. Sometimes it means saying no to fun so you can say yes to focus. Sometimes it means walking away from people who don't see your worth yet. Growth costs something. It costs time, effort, and sometimes relationships. But the return on that investment is freedom, confidence, and peace of mind. When you become the best version of yourself, your whole life upgrades. Your circle changes, your energy changes, your standards rise, and suddenly you stop settling for what doesn't serve you anymore. When you start treating yourself like something valuable, you attract better things. People treat you how you treat yourself. If you walk like you matter, talk like you matter, and move like you matter, the world will respond accordingly. But if you keep playing small, doubting your worth, and ignoring your potential, life will keep giving you small rewards. You get what you believe you deserve. So start today. Feed your mind with knowledge. Feed your body with health. Feed your soul with peace. Stop waiting for someone to come and motivate you. That's your job. You have everything inside of you to become who you're supposed to be, but it won't happen until you decide to invest in that version of yourself. You owe it to yourself to show up as your best, not just for the world, but for you. The best version of you doesn't happen by accident. It's built through intention, sacrifice, and consistency. You can't expect $1 million life with a minimum effort mindset. So put your energy where your growth is. Because the more you invest in yourself, the more life will start investing back in you in ways you never imagined.